Hi guys, Dr. Wendy Dearborne. She's in the house. Dr. Wendy Dearborne in the house, guys. Welcome to another episode of You and the Laws of Attraction. That's right, guys. It's all about you and how you work these laws to bring into your life what you want. Well, guys, today is Sunday, Sunday the 12th of September 2021, and the hour is 10 p.m. So once again, welcome to the show. Welcome to this podcast that is entitled You and the Laws of Attraction. And what we're going to be talking about today is I'm going to finish up the series of the Laws of Attraction, what you need to know. In today's episode, in today's podcast, what I'm actually going to be talking about are some highlights. I'm going to actually outline some things that I personally feel that you need to be made aware of so that you are able to manifest and create the life that you say that you want to live. Vitally important. So, once again, welcome. My name's Dr. Wendy Dearborne, and I'm going to be your host for the next, maybe 60 minutes. I'm not quite sure if it'll go 60 minutes today. And if it does, it'll be 60 minutes and or more. And I will definitely, my promise to you is not only to deliver my content in my style, the way in which I do, but also to try and stay on point and on topic. Guys, I can segue so easily. It's just like, I'll go off on a tangent and I'm like, oh my gosh, reel yourself back in. But anyway, guys, what is this show about? You and the Laws of Attraction. It's a show that's all about me. It's all about you. It's all about us and our ability to make choices. That's right, guys. I'm a choice and universal laws of attraction expert. So it's about making choices. It's about recognizing that everything that we do in life is a choice, and that when we make a choice and conversely not make a choice, we set into motion. We invoke, and I guess I'm going to be using that word a lot today. We invoke the universal laws of attraction to go out and do our bidding. So what do? I assist and support you in finding that internal clarity so that you are able to, once again, create the life that you want to live, or conversely, not create a life that you don't want to live. That's equally as important. So, right, guys, one of the things that you will hear on the show is this. Yes, that's my bell. You can ring my bell. Would you say don't give up your daytime job, Wens? Well, that's okay. I'm retired anyway. But that being said, when I'm actually going to change a topic, or if you will get a new heading, start a new heading, and or if there's something that I actually feel that's really important, and I really want you to listen up, you'll definitely hear the bell. All right, guys. One of the things that I also want to say to you is this. Any information that I actually share with you, any content that I share with you, it's actually about my experience. And as I spoke with you about the universal laws, I think it is in episode 5, the universal law of space literally dictates that only one person can occupy a space at any time. Two people can't occupy that space. So whatever you've done, nobody can occupy that space because it's yours. The energetic signature, the spiritual DNA, it's all yours. So I'm saying that to say this. anything that I share with you, I am not looking to make clones. I am not looking for you guys to become an automation of what I'm saying. What I want you to do, or what I'm hoping that you will do, is take this information, take bits of it, mold it, twist it, shape it, to formulate a plan or formulate a working premise that suits you. Because your life is all about you. Your life is all about you and the choices that you make. So for me, this is my experience that I'm sharing with you. Once again, take that information and you mold it. What works for me might not work for you. However, the underlying information that is imparted based on who you are, you can weave it into the tapestry of your life. The other thing that I want to say is this. As a intrinsic coach, as a choice expert, as a universal laws expert, spiritual laws, natural laws, God's laws, I am not what you would call the warm and fuzzy type. I truly do actually shoot straight from the hip. And this is who I am. It's not that it's black and or white. It is that life is about choices. And when you break it all down, when you hone it all away, when you clean it all up, it's either you made a choice or you didn't. Either way, whatever you do is going to affect your life. It's going to affect your life. So for me, this is serious business, because everything that you do in life affects your life. So my thing is, why not do something to establish or to invoke or to create or to stimulate an effect that you actually want? So that's what I wanted to share with you. Also, anything that has been perpetrated against you that you deem to be negative, heinous, wicked, cruel, all the above, anything that has been perpetrated against you and or your family and or your loved ones and or your country and or whatever, and you feel it is out and out wrong, understand me that when I speak of the universal laws of attraction and when I speak of the power of your choice, understand that I am not condoning anybody's illegal, cruel, wicked, whatever term you want to use. I'm not condoning their behavior. If they need to be thrown under the jail, they need to be thrown under the jail. But understand that I am speaking about choice. And let me just elaborate here what I mean. Whatever has happened in your life, for the most part, that you don't like, or has happened to somebody in your life that you don't like, that you think was wrong, etc., understand that choice has put you in the crosshairs. Once again, this isn't about a blame game. This is about taking control of your life and recognizing that you made choices that put you in this position. No, should it have happened? Oh, hell no. Should it have happened? Hell no. Was it wrong? God knows it's wrong. We know it's wrong. The fact still remains that there were choices that you made that put you in the position that you had or have found yourself in. And it's choices, especially conscious choices that you make, that will take you out of that situation. Once again, does it make it right? No. Is it about blaming? Oh, hell no. You see, all of that right, wrong, all of that jazz, especially blaming, it takes away from you being able to do what you need to do for your life. And that is make choices based on what you want, by focusing your energy on that and not on the things that you don't want, the things that you are afraid that will happen, the things that you are afraid that will occur in your life again. And this is where most people live. But anyway, guys, I'm going to ring the bell. I'm trying very hard not to go off on a tangent. But there's the bell, guys. You have heard the bell, and now let's start talking about the sixth part of this series. And really, it's about how to weave the laws together, but more so than that, to understand, as I've just been saying, how powerful your choice is and how that will impact your life, and it will impact your life at levels that we don't even begin to understand. Okay, guys, in order for you to use the universal laws, I'm going to say consciously and effectively, you need to know how to use the tool, and you need to know what the tool does. Without those two things in play, you won't be able to use the universal laws effectively. You won't. And the more you actually utilize the laws, the easier it becomes. And not only the easier it becomes more subconsciously driven. It becomes a thing then that you don't have to consciously work on it. And when utilizing the universal laws, you really do need some conscious effort to go into what it is that you are wanting to create in your life. So let me just say this. Florence, excuse me, guys. Florence Scovel Shinn, who for me, I have mentors. Many of them are deceased, but I have mentors. And Florence Scovel Shinn is one of my mentors. And one of the things that she says is that every time you speak, you are creating laws for yourself. And guys, we are under law. We are under law. And what that means is that you will say something, and the universal law, the law of attraction, will be invoked. The universal law of attraction will be invoked. So it's really important that you get control of your words. You get control of your inner talk. That you get control of how you allow your thought process and or thinking to blossom. Now, as thoughts pop into your head, you don't actually, and I've said this repeatedly on the show, you don't actually have control over that. What you do have control over is how you nurture and feed that thought process. And that thought process will evolve into your way of thinking. And that way of thinking will solidify into a truth and a belief. And when it solidifies into a truth and a belief, it becomes a desire. And when you are desirous of anything, it will manifest. It will manifest. You see, many people... Okay, I'm going to talk about blocks. Let me just finish saying that, because I was about to jump off on a tangent. So it's important to understand that your words, your spoken word is invoking and always invoking the universal laws, plural, of attraction. Your spoken word. And once again, that's that spoken, the inner talk that you do. The talk that never actually comes out your mouth unless you don't have any filters, but the talk that never actually leaves the confines of your inner sanctum or the inner sanctum of your mind. For me, on a personal level, guys, and I suppose on a professional level, that's the most important talk. The inner talk. The real talk. The talk that is only between you and God kind of talk. The talk that nobody ever hears but you. That's the most important talk. And that's the spoken word that I'm speaking of. The words that you speak aren't only the words that you articulate orally or the words that you speak out aloud. You are articulating orally within the confines of your mind. You're speaking to yourself 24/7, 365. 24/7, 365. In actual fact, truth be known, you never shut up. So it's 24/7, 365. Now, once again, thoughts will pop into your mind. That's how that is. That's a part of life. That's a part of showing contrast and parallel. It's also a part of showing you that perhaps there's attention needed in this particular aspect of your life or in this particular area of your life. Thoughts pop in. And they can pop in all they want, and they will continue to do so. The biggest thing is what you choose to do about that thought. You see, you can have an image. I was saying this yesterday to a client. You can have an image come into your mind. But until you put words to that image, and these words can be just for you, until you put words to that image, you are not going to be able to communicate with self as to what it is that you are seeing. Words are a vibrational frequency that describes images. And guys, this is how we communicate actually, through image. Through what we see. Through what we see. This is how we communicate. But that being said, again, it's important to realize that your spoken word is always invoking the universal laws. So, bottom line, cut away the warm and fuzzy. You need to make sure you check what's coming out of your mouth. You need to make sure you check what you're thinking about. You change your thinking to suit what it is that you want. Yeah? In life. Okay? All right, guys, I was looking for my bell. Okay. Blocks. That's one of the things that I said that I would be talking about in this episode, which is huge. So we're going to look at a couple of blocks that I have known, or I hear clients talking about a lot. And once again, we create blocks by our spoken word. And what I mean by that is simply this. By having by having negative internal conversations with self about external situations is and will create energetic blocks. And what do I mean by blocks? Blocks are something that are and will prevent you from experiencing a manifestation that you say that you want. So once again, blocks are an energetic frequency that creates it creates an interruption. It creates an interruption in the energetic flow of the manifestation that you want to experience. So we create blocks and we don't even realize that we are creating these blocks based on the conversations, and not only the conversations, sometimes the actions that we take, because the mouth will say one thing, and the actual action, the actual physical action says something totally different. And so it's not on par. It's not in alignment. We create blocks by our thought processes, and especially our conscious thought processes, because as I said a little while ago, if you think your thought and you think it long enough, it becomes an automated, unconscious thought process, and your subconscious thought processes are the things that are manifested for you, because it's your subconscious or your superconscious, if you will, whichever works for you, is tied into your belief, and that's tied into your desire and belief. Your truth is the thing that will manifest. So blocks can be attributed to a feel, emotional stuff that has happened. Something might have happened to you and you can't get past it. This too impacts, everything impacts you at a conscious and subconscious level, or superconscious. And so it's really important, guys, to recognize that if you are wanting to manifest something in your life, whether it be money, whether it be relationships, whether it be health, whatever it is, and it is not happening for you, or it's happening in dribs and drabs, or it's start and go, or you feel that you're experiencing, 1 foot forward and then like 10 steps back. And if you're feeling this, these are all blocks. These are all blocks from a universal standpoint. These are all blocks from a manifestation standpoint, or a demonstration standpoint, or the answer to your prayer standpoint. These are blocks. Now, as I said, this ain't about the warm and fuzzy. Any kind of block that's in your life, you've created it. Once again, any kind of block in your life, you have created it. Okay? And part of being blocked is not taking ownership, responsibility, and accountability for your life and where you are at. When you can take complete ownership, complete responsibility, and complete accountability for your life, I'm telling you something, guys, blocks will move out the way. Blocks will disintegrate in front of your eyes. It's unfortunate that most people play this blame game. If this didn't happen, that wouldn't have happened. If this didn't happen, that wouldn't have happened to me. If he didn't do this, I wouldn't have done that. And I hear it. I hear it all the time. People are always saying that to me. And my thing is, you need to take ownership for your life and where you are at this moment in time. Just own it. Just own it. Recognize that anything that you did based on somebody influencing you was a choice. Was a choice. I was speaking to a client, actually it was yesterday, and I said, I'm really hardcore with this. I'm really hardcore with this. And don't misunderstand me. Hardcore has nothing to do with me empathizing with what's going on in your world. Because believe me, I'm having and have had my own challenges. So do I feel it for you? Yes, I do. But do I also recognize that choice has got you to where you are? Choice has created the blocks that you are experiencing in your life. Choice. Your choice. You know, I was watching a movie, and this was sometime last week, and there was some woman, you know, femme fatale or whatever you call it these days, but some dude had a gun to her head, and he was like, you know, if you don't do whatever, I'm going to shoot you. And that woman looked up at him and said, give it your best shot. She made the choice not to do what she was being told to do under duress. And she made the choice to take ownership of her life. Give it your best shot. I'm not doing that. Give it your best shot. Now, am I saying that people aren't influenced? No, people are influenced on a daily basis. People are influenced through, I call it actually psychological warfare that is being perpetrated against people. You know, to want to purchase, the psychology of purchasing stuff, the psychology that's used against people to purchase things that they don't want. I'm talking about the psychology that is used to corral people and make them feel unworthy. But you see, nobody can make you feel anything other than what you feel within you. You really think anybody can make me feel unworthy? Oh, I don't think so. But have I been there? Yes, I have. But when I took ownership of my life, those blocks dissolved. Those blocks dissolved. Part of utilizing the universal laws and eradicating blocks is learning to say no. And learning to say no in a loving way. Or learning to say yes in a loving way. But learning to say no in a loving way that reflects your truth. No, I'm not going to do this. And for many people, what they do is they will create an argument of some kind. They'll create some kind of chaos where they can actually express what it is that they really want. But now they've gone down this other tunnel. They've gone down this other pathway. They've gone down a rabbit hole. And they've gone down this rabbit hole and they've created another block. All you have to do is speak your truth. Because as I've said on this show repeatedly, and I'm going to ring the bell on this one. Truth, intrinsic truth, recognizes truth. You recognize when somebody's lying to you. It's like this built-in mechanism. You recognize when somebody is telling you a half-truth because you come out like, I'm not sure about that. And invariably, when you're like, I'm not sure about that, they've told you some of what they want you to know and twisted around what they don't want you to know. It's an amazing thing. We are so amazing. Oh my God. We are so amazing. Blocks prevent you from attaining your desires. And once again, for the most part, we are blocked because we are unable to say no or yes, conversely, whichever is needed. We're blocked primarily because we are invoking laws for ourselves, and we don't even realize that our negative self-talk, that inner talk, is doing this. We are blocked because we are not 100% clear. We don't have clarity on what it is that we want. There's no clarity. And so there are blocks there. How can you go on a journey if you don't know where you are going? How can you go on a journey if you don't know, if you don't have a specific end result, or you don't have a destination? That's what I was looking for, guys. You don't have a specific destination. What's the journey? Now, if the actual journey is, I'm just going to go with the flow, then that is the destination. That is the destination. That is where you are heading. But most people don't have clarity on what it is that they want. And this creates a block. A huge one. Most people only have generalizations. They have generalizations of what it is that what it is that they want. And when I speak to people time and time again, this is what I hear. It's okay. If you want something in life, you want to be an artist, you want to be the world's greatest accountant, you want to be the world's greatest surgeon for hands or for fingers or for whatever it is, or you want to be the world's greatest hairdresser, or you want to be the world's greatest religious leader or spiritual advisor, whatever it is, you need to have clarity around what that looks like. You also need to be able to articulate that. You need to be able to express it succinctly and to the point. I am a choice expert. To the point. I know that my passion is and lies with supporting people in getting clarity from within regarding the choices that they are wanting to create or the choices they are wanting to make in their life. This is what I do. I support people in finding their end goal. You know, people will say that they want, that they want, that they want money. Everybody wants money. Okay, that's nice and generic. Okay, all right. My thing then is, what is it that you are wanting money to do for you? What is it that you are wanting to see with money? What is it that you are wanting to hear with money? What is it that you are wanting to feel? What is it that you even want to smell? What is it that you are wanting to taste with money? What is it? Paint me a picture. Paint me a picture. You want to Okay, you want to create music. What is it that you want your music to do, not only for you, but for the end listener? What is it that you are wanting to impart with your music? What are you wanting your music to do? Because it will do something. It's an energetic frequency. You want to be a master chef. Outside of the food tasting good and looking good, what are you wanting the end result to be when people have interacted with you? Are you wanting them to, as a chef, are you wanting them to take away a piece of culture? Are you wanting them to be able to come and sit and have family time? Are you wanting them to come and sit and have an experience that says, yes, I am successful, so they can take that energy and let it run and filter into all areas of their lives? What is it? What's the end goal that you want to do? Because the end goal is all about you providing a service for people and influencing people in a certain way, and influencing them in a way that allows them, that gives them permission to make choices that are in the best interest of self, for self, and made by self. Generalizations will get you nowhere. These are blocks. So how do you get over these blocks? How do you get over these blocks? Another block is not doing what you want, but doing what others want you to do. How do you get over that block? Well, one of the things I spoke about is you need clarity. Because when you are not coming from that inner authentic place, when you're not coming from that inner authentic place, people can hear that, one, you're confused, two, you're disingenuous, and three, you're lying, and you just don't even know. So when you're doing what others want you to do, one, you are actually being very, especially if you don't want to do it, you're being very disingenuous to self. In actual fact, you're lying to yourself. And therefore, everything that you do will be built upon a house of lies. And that house of lies is doomed and destined to disintegrate. Because the thing that you are truly wanting is wanting expression through you. The thing that you are truly wanting wants to come through you so it can manifest into the tangible. It can manifest into the physical. It will come through you. It doesn't actually come to you. It comes through you. And it will always be trying to come through you. When things go, another block is when it appears that things are going radically wrong. All right. And you're like, oh my God, why is this happening? You know, in one of my, it's a metaphysical group that I belong to. Actually, one of the schools I went to. And I had, do you know something, guys? I'm going to pull this up. Don't you love technology? I do when I can work it very, very quickly. I love it. When I can work it very, very, very quickly, it works really well for me. Let's see if I can pull this up. All right, guys. You know, it's always amazing. All right. Okay. So yesterday, I wrote a meme that said, let's get me glasses in toll here. You'll never know the journey that I've taken to get to where you see me now. You'll never know the heartache and pain I've walked through to find my joy. You don't know the price I have chosen to pay for my blessings. You don't know me. When things go radically wrong in your life, they're actually not going wrong. How do I phrase this? They're happening for you and not to you. Okay? The radical wrongness is actually in answer to what I was saying a while ago, just a moment ago. The radical wrongness is about the course correction that you are subconsciously creating in your life so that you can manifest, so that you can step into, so that you can become the actual purpose that you are meant to be here. So hopefully that's making sense to you guys. So roll with me on this one, okay? When things go radically wrong. Oh, wait, let me do this, guys. Da-da-da. When things go radically wrong, this isn't God and or the universe working against you. This isn't evil forces working against you. This is you. This is your God self working with and for you to course correct, to get you on your pathway in the quickest, the most expedient, the quickest and the most efficient way. Everything that we do is done with efficiency. Have you noticed that, guys? When you look at nature, nature doesn't squander energy. Everything is done efficiently. There's a purpose for everything. Things just don't happen randomly. And I know that there's a thought process out there for people who believe things happen randomly. It's a coincidence, blah 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 blah. Well, that's all to the highest good. More power to you. I personally don't believe, and professionally I don't believe, that things happen randomly. Things happen as a result of an action that has been taken and a reaction that is being experienced. And the other thing is, you might take an action, and here goes with another block, not understanding how things actually work, not understanding how things actually flow. You take an action today. And you might not see the block until 15 years from now. It's very much like how we use colloquialisms in our speech. You know, we're always saying stuff, you know, stuff that we don't even realize that it has a negative impact, because the universe doesn't understand colloquialism. The universe only understands the universal creator, known to me as God, or whomever your chosen deity is. The God within you only understands the word that you say. You know, you could say, you know, that was dope, or that was the bomb, or what have you. And you're talking about, as when I was coming up, we say that was crisp. It was crisp, right? What is that? You know, you understand, because again, it is a word that you're using to depict whatever it is that you're speaking about. But at the end of the day, that word has its own signature, its own power. And that's how it goes forth. Excuse me, it doesn't go forth. It doesn't go forth with your interpretation on it. It's a word. It's a word. And it will go out there, and it will go and create. And so you say this word, and you're saying this word, you know, take for instance, okay, I'll be a little bit more specific. Personal note. I was always saying, I can't stand this, and I can't stand that, and I can't stand her, and I can't stand him, I can't stand my job, I can't stand this. I was always saying that. And I would say, it makes me sick. It makes me sick to my stomach. It makes me sick. It makes me sick. And I was always at that. That was my expression of saying where I was at and how I felt about something. Well, what the universe actually heard me say, which that became a mantra. You say it over and over and over and over again. It becomes a mantra. And what that mantra does is it becomes a conscious awareness, and that conscious awareness then becomes a subconscious awareness, and then super conscious then will actually create it in your life in some shape or form. And so I was steadily saying, I can't stand this, I can't stand that, that makes me sick to my stomach, blah blah blah. I can't say that was my mantra. I mean, that could have been my epitaph. You could have put that on my headstone. And what happened? I became seriously ill. So much so I had a near-death experience. Part of that journey was I wasn't able to stand. Part of that journey was I would literally, I'm serious, projectile vomit. I wouldn't even know when I was going to throw up. All I would know is that I had thrown up. And this was problematic because that doesn't go well sitting at a dining table, which is what happened to me the first time. And everybody was looking at me like I was crazy. I was looking at me like I was crazy. I didn't even understand what was going on until the second time that it happened. And I realized that I ain't got control of this. But it's not until after I had my near-death experience that I realized that I had, by the power of my spoken word, I had spoken this into existence. So guys, it's vitally important that you understand that the colloquialisms that you use are having an effect on your life. And this effect might not be seen today, tomorrow, next year, or the year after. These effects will be seen because what you put out there, and this is why I love God and the universe and how it all unfolds. The thing that you put out there has to come back to you. And so therefore, the blocks that are in our lives, that are in our lives are slowing the process down. It's like, hey, do you really want to do that? Whoa. Nature always gives a check and balance. Nature always is a balanced thing. Nature understands who we are. We don't understand nature. God understands who we are. We don't understand God. God never left us. We left God. So guys, it's important to understand that blocks are set up for us. It's not set up to fail. There is no failure. I've said this repeatedly on shows. There is absolutely no failure. Absolutely no failure. It's just us trying to get our own attention. You may have heard people say, you need to get out your own way. It's just us trying to get out of our own way. So blocks, yeah, they're there. And then, of course, you have the whole, and I'm not going to delve into this, but the whole psychological, emotional block things, where people are responding to traumas that they may have had in childhood, traumas that they may have had as adults. People are responding to that. And so they have these emotional blocks in their life that prevent them from having good and meaningful relationships or holding a job, or it prevents them from not using drugs and all this sort of stuff. But blocks are designed to assist and support us. So let me now bring a little clarity to this situation. Blocks are designed to assist and support us and actually course correct in the most expedient and efficient way. That is the way of nature. Understand everything that you think, everything that you say, everything that you visualize, everything that you put a word to. Whether your alphabet is 15 letters, 26 letters, or 36 letters, whatever your alphabet is, whether you use characters, it doesn't matter. It is an alphabet. And when you put an alphabet to your thought process, you create a word. And that word has power. That word unlocks and unleashes your power to actually invoke the universal laws, and it's laws plural, not law. The universal laws, so that you can begin the process of manifesting what it is that you want. Now, I'm going to continue saying this loud and strong. It's important to understand that you are the what, and the universal creator, known to me as God, the God that resides within self, is the how. Your job is to know categorically what you want. Your job is to be aware of and to remove any blocks that are on your pathway. Your job is to make sure that you have clarity, the clarity of what it is that you want. Your job is to make sure that that clarity does not fade based on things that are happening in your life or based on the blocks that are coming up in your life. It's your job to be able to say yes or no. It's your job to know know your authentic truth. It's your job to know, what it is that you are wanting for your life. It's also your job to understand that life is happening for you and not to you. It's your job to keep the faith. It's your job to nurture your desire by doing things like eradicating blocks that are going to put up hurdles that may eventually have you doing like me, not being able to stand. It's your job to control that, and you can. You cannot control the thought process that pops into your mind, but you can control what you do with it after that. So, one of the most important things for you to do in removing blocks is to ask yourself this question. And for those of you who listen to me, for those of you who are my clients, you know where I'm going with this. You need to ask yourself these questions. What am I wanting for my life in this moment? What am I wanting for me? I'm not talking about the family. I'm not talking about your spouses, your best friends. I'm not even talking about your kids or your baby or what have you. I am talking about you. What are you wanting for your life in this moment? And if you say you don't know, which I'm sorry, I don't believe, everybody knows what they want. Whether they want to articulate it or not, that's a whole different ball game. But if you say you don't know, I'm going to ask this question. What don't you want for your life in this moment? What don't you want? And then when you can answer that question or those two questions, then you can start the process of getting clarity. And when you get clarity, you will then be able to articulate to the universal creator what it is that you want. And when you can do that with clarity, the universal laws then are invoked to assist and support you. And one of the things that I'd be very remiss in if I don't say this, and I don't believe I've said this on this show, on this podcast today, is that we believe that everything should be warm and fuzzy. That is, as my brother says, that is our romantic view of what should be. God, the universal creator, the God within us, has a totally different view. It's all about business, and business is all about choice. Choice isn't always warm and fuzzy. And what happens to you isn't always going to feel warm and fuzzy. The name of the game is, it doesn't feel warm and fuzzy. That's okay. This hurt like hell. That's okay. Give yourself 3 days. And this is personally what I do. I'll give myself 3 days to bitch, moan, whine, cry, tantrum, the whole 9 yards. I mean, there are some times that I wish I could just fall on the ground like a 2-year-old and have, like the screaming abdabs or something like that. I mean, just, you see them fall out in Target or wherever, what have you. I'm sorry, Walmart or what have you. And you're like, oh my God. But that's what I wish I could do. But then what would happen? They'd come and they'd cart me away. But so I give myself time to experience what I am experiencing. Now, where I differ from many, I know that this has happened for me. It's not happened to me. And so eliminating blocks is also, once again, giving yourself time to have your party, to cry, to this and that. And then ask yourself, after a period of time, what is this situation? Or what has this event contributed to my life? Or what is this situation showing me about me? What is it that it is teaching me? Where does it want me to go? Ask yourself these questions, because all of them, that sort of questioning, it will remove a block. It also gives you clarity in regard to what it is that you want. It also supports you in moving along on your pathway. Who wants to go over, 5-foot speed bumps? Who wants to be airborne like that? Well, I know I don't. And it's not a choice that I would make. The other thing is, it's important, as I said before, I'm backtracking now. It's important to be able to say no. And saying no to our loved ones can be the hardest thing that we ever do. Because with saying no, and saying no because it's your authentic truth. And you're not just saying no to be mean, to be spiteful, to be bloody-minded, the whole 9 yards. No, you're saying no because it's your authentic truth. To say no can sometimes mean that relationships will be dissolved. So when you actually take control of your life, which is basically what this is, when you actually take control of your life, realize that there are people in your life, people whom you love, who will fall away, who will step away, who one day you wake up, they're gone, and you wake up and you don't realize, you don't understand why they're gone, and then all of a sudden you realize it's because you said no, or conversely, you said yes. Is that a challenge? Yes. Is it surmountable? Oh, God, yes. It's about moving forward, making that here we go. It's about making that choice to move forward, and to move forward with your life. You see, guys, it is your life. It is your life. I can't breathe for you, and you can't breathe for me. I can't eat for you, and you can't eat for me. Even if I desired to do that, to breathe for you, you cannot live on my carbon dioxide. You can't. Eventually, you'll die. You can't eat for me and hope to sustain me, hope to give my body nutrients, hope to take away hunger. You can't eat for me. That's not how that works. And eventually, I'll die. You can look around any cemetery, right? You can look around the cemetery and you will see many people, or you'll see the names of many people. From the youngest to the oldest, from hours old or a day old to 100 years plus. You'll see that on their tombstone. One of the things that I want you to understand is that life is happening for you and not to you. And as life happens for you, eventually you too will be in a place like that. You too, and when I say you too, your body may be in a place like that. I suppose, actually, what I'm saying, guys, is this. None of us get out this game called life alive. And that all of us are moving towards a destiny that has already been written. And at some point, you will die. So the name of the game is, what do you want to do in between now and then? When I was lecturing quite a lot, one of the things I would talk about is this, exactly what I'm saying to you. The cemetery is full of people. They were all living at one time. But the most important thing is not their date of birth or their date of death or the era that they lived in or the era that they died in. Most people, if you live for long enough, you're going to see many wondrous things. You live long enough, you're going to see, wow. In my lifetime, in my short span, my lifetime, I've seen music go from, well, I'm going to say 8-track because I was around when that came out, from 8-track to where you stream it now to your phone. You stream it digitally to your phone and to your TV or any device that streams. I've watched music go from vinyl records to cassettes to discs to where you stream. I've watched movies go from you can only see them in the cinema or the movie theater to now you can stream the latest movie at home if you have the device. Medical wonders. I've seen a medicine. I'm always, guys, I'm into medicine. However, that's a whole different ball game. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. But I've seen wondrous things happen. That being said, so has everybody else in my era, in my time, to this date, seen the same things. Now, how they choose to allow that to impact them, how they take this knowledge and apply it to self, how they allow this to become part of their truth, part of their belief, part of their desire, that's all based on choice. You see, where I was going with this is simply this, guys. The date of my birth on my tombstone, the date of my birth and the date of my death, just mark to say that I was here. It is that dash in between those dates that has atomic power, because it says what I have done here. It says what I have done here. That small dash. And that small dash actually is a defining dash. It's an exclamation point. Because once you left here, you're gone. Once me got me not dead no more, I'm gone. That dash talks about my legacy. So for you guys, knowing what you are wanting, finding the clarity of it, understanding that the blocks that are in our life are definitely removable when you know exactly what you want. They are removable when you take ownership. Own your life. Own it. You know, I can't remember which comedian. I want to say something Harris. I think he's the one, or it was Bernie Mac said, yeah, I said it. Yes, I said it. Own it. Own your life. The flip side to that coin is, if you don't own your life, somebody else will own that energy. Somebody will own that energy, and they'll take that energy and they'll use that energy. Energy is meant to be used. It is meant to be used. And if you don't use it, somebody else will use it. God moves people, places, and things into your sphere so that you can get what you need, right? Who do you think God's moving? He'll move you. If you are not doing what it is that you are here to do, if you're not living a purpose-filled and purposeful life, and in order to do that, you need to get clarity on what it is that you are wanting. Taking no action is a choice, and understand that by being neutral, or attempting to be neutral, is a choice. And understand that comes with its own universal reaction. That comes with the laws being invoked in a certain way. As I said, you need to learn to say yes or no. And when you are clear, you know, guys, when you are clear, and I know I said this earlier, but I'm going to repeat, when you are clear and have clarity on what you want, and it is your authentic truth, when you say no to somebody, they might not be all warm and fuzzy. They might be a little salty. They might be disappointed. More so than anything, they might be disappointed. But they'll roll with it. And while we're speaking about disappointment is when reality and expectation do not meet. You are then disappointed. So they might be disappointed, but they will hear your truth. When things go radically wrong, they're a block. So guys, blocks in our lives are actually removable. And I'm going to sum up now because I've definitely gone over 60 minutes. So blocks in our lives are definitely removable. In order to remove the blocks, you need to understand and know the tools that you are using and the tools that you are dealing with. Okay? You need to understand the universal laws and understand that they are a tool that has been given to you so that you can live your best life. To remove blocks, the first thing is you need to take ownership of your life. Take ownership of your life. And by taking ownership, what I mean is, yeah, I said it. Yes, I did it. Yes, I thought it. Yes, this is me. You take responsibility for your life. You take responsibility for the response that you are giving to life and the response that life is giving to you. And you're accountable. Yeah. You own what has happened to you. And know that you are accountable for it. You own it. It belongs to you. Accountability is what belongs to you. This is your accountability. This is your account. This is your life book. This is your book of life. Whatever's in there is an accounting of you. It is an expression of you. Own it. That's the first thing. And I'm going to tell you from a personal experience, guys, from the depth of my soul, that was one of the most powerful things that I ever did for myself, was to own my life. Own it. It was so freeing. It was so freeing. I don't even know how to explain it to you. But I took ownership of my life by owning what I do, what I say. Yes, I did it. The other thing is, on a personal level, I don't give a lot of reasons. I don't validate what I do. I need to be okay with it. If you're not okay with it, that's on you. I cannot live your life. You can't live mine. So I don't validate what I do or the choices. Like if I'm saying no to somebody, I don't always validate. I don't. Or if I'm saying yes, conversely, I don't always validate. It's no because it's no for me. Sometimes I might not even know why I'm saying no, but my intuition, which is God's way, your subconscious's way, the universal way of speaking to you. And sometimes it's a no. I don't know why. And I'm not going to find a reason why to make you feel good, because what I do when I try to find reasons to make you feel all right about you, I create a block. I create a block. Because if I have to look for reasons, and even if you're making me want to, or you're trying to compel me to give you a reason, and I don't want to, I create a block. When I started out this podcast, one of the things I said to you guys is that everything you do, everything you think, everything you say, everything you do invokes the universal laws. I really mean it. I really mean it. You are under law. You are under God's law. You are under universal law. You are under law. You are the living, breathing manifestation and expression of God's law. You can't get away from it. So my thing is, use it. In order for you to remove blocks, you really need to have the conversation, as I said before. What does it look like? What does it sound like? What does it feel like? What does it smell like? What does it taste like? And of course, what is your intuition telling you? If you are unable to put at least two of your senses, feel, look, hear, smell, and taste. If you are unable to put at least two of your senses to something that you are wanting in your life, then I would say you need to work harder at that, or you need to take a look at what the block is. What is the block? What is the block? And then, to look at the block, because you're like, oh my God, well, how do I look at the block? Ask yourself, what does it look like for what's blocking me to be removed? What does it feel like to be block free? What does it sound like to be block free? And believe it or not, what does it taste like? What does it smell like to be block free? And believe it or not, when you start asking those questions, they are, I was going to say, intrinsic questions. And in order for you to answer, you have to go within. You have to go within. Yesterday I was working with a client and I asked them intrinsic question, what does it look like to blah, 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 blah. And their response was, wow. And I said, is that too big a bite? Is that too big? Do we need to make it smaller? As in regard to what does it look like to XYZ, make it smaller. Let me give you an example. What does it look, what are you wanting for your life? What are you wanting for your life? That's a big bite. What are you wanting for the rest of your life? That's a big bite. But what are you wanting in this moment for your life? That's a nice small bite. So anyway, I'd asked the question in intrinsic question, and the client was like, wow. And there was silence. And I always know when I've nailed it because there's silence. And it's not that silence where it's like, okay, all right, let's see what's going to happen here. It's the silence where I can feel the vibration of the person thinking. They're thinking. They're digging. They're looking within. And that's some powerful stuff right there. So ask yourself, what are you wanting in this moment? Ask yourself then, what does it look like? Go through all the different senses that you have and keep asking yourself the clarity. And, people they'll definitely get off on track. People go all around the houses. I talk to them, they'll go all around the houses and I'll bring them right back to the point. What is it that you are wanting? Paint yourself a picture of what that looks like. Well, guys, I am hoping, actually, I know it's more than hoping. Guys, it is my hope that this has been helpful to you. I know that I call it Picassoing. I know that I can tell by the way that I have been drawing on my note paper here. I know that I have been Picassoing, which means I have been all over the place. That being said, my final summation is this. You are here for a purpose and to live your life purposefully. You are here as an expression of the universal creator, God, your chosen deity, for me that resides within. By your spoken word, you are creating the life that you are living. By your spoken word, you are creating where you have, or where you are at now. By your spoken word, you have created it. And so by your spoken word, you can create that which you say that you want. Blocks that come up in our life are nature's way, or the universal creator's way of creating a balance. Because your words cannot be returned to you void. They can't. So if you keep on keeping on with your mantra, it has to come back as you've put it out there. Blocks help you to recalibrate. They help you to recalibrate. Blocks will tell you that you are not clear on what it is that you are wanting. You're not clear on what your purpose is. And believe me, guys, in addition to feeling self-gratification, in addition to feeling all the things that you can feel for your achievements, what you're here to do is not only to support you, but also to support others as they move through life. You are here to be of service, but not in servitude. Know the nuance. Understand the nuance. You are here to be of service with your purpose. You are here in this life to show up authentically, which ironically will give other people permission to do so too, if they choose that. You are here to be all that you can be. You're not here to be somebody's whipping post. You're not here to do what other people want you to do. You're not here to be manipulated. You're not here to be hurt. You're not here for any other thing that doesn't work in a harmonious vibration with who you are. You're not here for that unless you choose it. Life is about contrast and parallels. You can't have happy without sad. You wouldn't know what sad was if you've ever been happy, and you would not know what happy is if you haven't been sad. Both are an important part of the equation. However, what is the most important thing is what you choose to do, or how you choose to find the middle ground. Life is about contrast and parallels. Live your greatest life. Make choices based on what you are truly wanting. Forget all the other stuff, what he said, she said, what they've done to you, what they want you to do, the whole 9 yards, all of it. It doesn't matter from the highest order, go right down. It doesn't matter. What matters is what you think and what you choose to do. Guys, I hope this has been helpful to you. I know that I have enjoyed this. And let me just tell you this, guys. I actually learn, right? I actually learn as I'm speaking. Sometimes more than sometimes, I have these epiphanies and I learn stuff. So I'm Dr. Wendy Dearborne, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at drwendyd@gmail.com. Outside of that, guys, until next time, peace.